What's up, peeps? We're back. As always, I'm your host, Lee Benson. Thank you so much for joining us for our YouTube edition of the AEW Insider. I decided to shut off the air conditioner this week because I re-listened to last week's video and it was a tad bit loud. So this week I actually am sweating my balls off for the peeps. It's all good though. We got a great show as always. We got some AEW news, some big WWE news, Impact Wrestling news, NWA news, random wrestling and sporting news. I'm going to cover NXT's In Your House. I'm going to give the full card of my predictions for tomorrow's pay-per-view. And actually tonight is Impact Wrestling Against All Odds pay-per-view. So I do have the card of my predictions, but by the time this gets uploaded, the pay-per-view will probably be half over. So just so you know, it's Saturday, June the 12th, and it is 4:54 p.m. Eastern Time. So this is what I'm doing it now, and it's going to take a couple hours to edit and upload it for you people. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Remember, if you want to win that Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse ringside collectible action figure, you got to stick around to the end of the show. Since this is AEW... 3, 2. Since this is the AEW Insider, we'll kick it off with a little AEW news. AEW. Now, Dirt Sheet Radio reported that the collector of belts, Kenny Omega, is banged up pretty bad, which I can understand with all the traveling and matches he is having. So they say he's banged up pretty bad. His knee, his back, a bunch of things. But you know, when you're the main event player, and not only for one company, but multiple companies, that's going to happen. Look what happened when Seth Rollins was champion and blew his knee out a couple years back. But Omega will keep going. You know that he's a workhorse. He said when he's in the ring and he hears the crowd, it does keep him going. So let's just hope he doesn't overdo it and hurt himself. You know what I mean? And just end this run on a high note. Brody Lee Jr. was officially added to the AEW roster. He has not been on TV in the past few weeks. He did come back this week, and to come to find out, it's because he is slipping a little bit school-wise. His mother lets it be known that he can only appear on AEW TV if he's doing good in school. Also this week, somebody tweeted to Cody asking who the new leader of the Dark Order will be, and they named 2 wrestlers. Cody made it very clear that -1 is the only leader of the Dark Order. On to WWE. Well, tomorrow night, Sunday, June 13th, is NXT's In Your House. So here's the current full card and my predictions. First up, we have Bronson Reed, the North American NXT champion, and MSK, who are their tag team champs, going against Legado del Fantasma. Now, this match is going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of spots, a lot of, high-flying stuff, crazy moves, plus some big man brutality stuff by Bronson Reed. These guys are going to be pulling off crazy-ass shit, and the stipulation to win is that if you do win, all 3 titles are lost. So if somehow Legado del Fantasma wins the matches, they will become the new NXT Tag Champs and also the NXT North American Champion, which is pretty fucking sick. But I gotta go with Bronson Reed and MSK to take this one. We also have Raquel Gonzalez with Dakota Kai in her corner versus Ember Moon with Shotzi Blackheart in her corner. It's for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, myself personally, I haven't been high on Ember Moon since she premiered. I believe it was at a SummerSlam in Brooklyn that my daughter and I was at years ago. She's injury prone, and when she comes back, she just doesn't impress me. It's cool with her and Shotzi, but Shotzi does not need her. Shotzi could take her gimmick and just blow up on her own. This match to me is a throwaway match. We know there's no fucking way in hell that Ember Moon is going to take that belt off of Gonzalez so soon, if she ever be able to take it ever. So I got to go with Gonzalez. We also have Mercedes Martinez versus Xia Li, and Xia Li will have Boa and Mei Ying in her corner. Now, I really couldn't give 2 flying fucks about this match. I think it's a waste of a spot. Martinez is not doing anything for me. She should have stayed in Retribution when she was originally part of that group, and then she asked to leave. Because even though that fell apart, at least they were on TV for quite a while, she hasn't been doing shit. And it's better than what she's got going on right now. Now, I like Xia Li. I think her gimmick is kick-ass, and outside of the ring, she is hot as hell. It looks like they're giving Martinez a big push, but I'm not behind it. So I'm going with Xia Li. We also have Cameron Grimes to the moon versus LA Knight in a ladder match, and the winner becomes the new $1 Million champion. Now, these guys are great. I'm a huge LA Knight mark, and I have been for many years, and Grimes is doing some kick-ass work. I really don't know who's going to win this one. I mean, you want Grimes to win because of his whole money gimmick he's got going on, but I have a feeling they're going to give it to LA Knight. So I'm going to go with LA Knight. And finally, we do have the NXT Championship up for grabs, which is the defending champ Karrion Kross with Scarlett by his side against Kyle O'Reilly, against Adam Cole, against Johnny Gargano, with Austin Theory at his side against Pete Dunne with Oni and Larkin. It's a fatal 5-way for the NXT Championship. Now, this match is going to be fucking insane. Brutality, crazy spots, all these guys kick ass. I would love for my dog Adam Cole to get his title back, but NXT is very high on Kross right now. He came back from injury and was given the belt back pretty much right away. Even though in reality, there would be no way in hell that he would walk out of this match with his title, I don't see them taking it off of him so soon unless he's going to be called up like ASAP. So I got to go with Karrion Kross. As I said on my last show, Brock Lesnar has been added back to WWE's active roster. Well, as another sign of his return, last night on SmackDown when Bayley was coming out to do her Ding Dong Hello segment, instead of putting her name where it should be, it did say like WWE World Champion Brock Lesnar. So it looks like the people in the back are getting his graphics ready for his return. Drew McIntyre has gone on record and said it's only a matter of time before he and NXT UK champion Walter face off. Now, I would pay good money to see this match. Those two will kick the shit out of each other. Just sign me up, WWE. On the bump, Adam Cole took a shot at Pat McAfee. When asked about McAfee's alliance with Pete Dunne and crew, Cole had this to say. Pat McAfee? Again? The fact that he has tricked so many people into working alongside of him, it kind of blows my mind. That was really a big issue for me. But again, my hatred for Pat was so strong, it could have been anybody, and I would be laser focused on Pat the whole time. Cole also called Pat an embarrassment. So McAfee heard about this, of course, and on his Sirius radio show, he had this to say. This morning he called me an embarrassment or something like that and went on this entire run. Hey, Adam Cole, pal, listen, you were talking to Mr. Friday Night now. Run your mouth on my internet? Come over to Friday, pal. Say what you gotta say, and you will eat another boot to the fucking mouth. It is being said that WWE is eyeing Survivor Series for The Rock's return. To me, it's way too early, and it's not a big enough event. I would love to see him go against Roman at Mania, but if they do bring him back for Survivor Series, who knows who he's going to be facing, and it can't be that bad, because my daughter and I actually were at Survivor Series 2011 at Madison Square Garden, when The Rock did return and tag with John Cena to take on The Miz and R-Truth. So if it's done right, I guess it will work, but who doesn't want to see The Rock versus Roman for the head of the table at WrestleMania? Big rumors are going around that Samoa Joe will be returning to the WWE. Well, to WWE NXT anyway. Behind the scenes, there are major talks to have Samoa Joe return to NXT. If they pull that off, it would be awesome. Imagine if he interferes in a 5-way main event match tomorrow night at In Your House. On to Impact Wrestling. Impact has their pay-per-view called Against All Odds, and it is taking place on Saturday, June 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, aka in less than 3 hours. Here's the full card and my predictions. We do have Jordynne Grace versus Tenille Dashwood. Now, Grace is awesome. She's a powerhouse, and she's going to get a big contract someday in a big company. It's just when she decides to do it. But Tenille has been my gal since day one, and she definitely needs a big win. So I'm going to go with Dashwood. We also have Rich Swann versus W. Morrissey. Now, Swann is one of Impact's golden boys. Morrissey has been killing it since he's came to Impact Wrestling. I feel he should win. You don't want to pull another AEW where you build your bad guys up like Team Taz or Ethan Page and Scorpio, yet they lose every fucking match, so they're not a threat when they do go against somebody. So I hope Impact does not do the same with Morrissey. I'm going with W. Morrissey. We have a match I really don't give a shit about. It is Satoshi Kajami versus Joe Doring. I'm going with Joe Doring. We also have Sami Callihan and Tommy Dreamer versus the Good Brothers in a street fight. I mean, how the fuck can Sami Callihan and Tommy Dreamer not win a street fight? It just doesn't seem possible. Those two are perfect and have been in crazy street-like brawls before. Yet the Good Brother are under Don Callis' thumb, and they are reunited with the Elite, aka the Bullet Club. So they probably will cheat to pull off a win. But I'm still going with Callihan and Dreamer. We have the number one contenders match for the X Division Championship, which is Petey Williams versus Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin versus Chris Bay versus Rohit Raju. Now, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Trey Miguel should be going for better titles. Well, I shouldn't say better, but higher ranked titles. Petey is a legend, and Rohit is a solid-ass X Division wrestler. This one's definitely going to be a toss-up, but I'm going with Petey Williams. We also have the Knockout Tag Team Championship up for grabs, which is Fire and Flavor versus Kimberly and Susan. Now, Fire and Flavor just bore me, like big time. They do nothing for me. Suzanne is great, and Kimberly, who really cares? So I'm going with Lee and Susan on this one. We have the Impact World Tag Team titles up for grabs, which is Violent by Design, Rhino and Diener versus Decay, which is Crazy Steve and Black Taurus. Now, this match should be great. It's definitely going to be a sleeper match of the night. Violent by Design's trying to cement their names as a great heel faction, but I am a Decay guy and I have been for years. So I'm going with Crazy Steve and Black Taurus. We also have the Knockouts Championship up for grabs, which is the defending champ Deonna Purrazzo versus Rosemary. Deonna Purrazzo has been a great Impact champion. So awesome that she has accomplished what she has since being released from WWE. Like I said though, I'm a huge Decay mark, and that includes Rosemary. It's time she has some gold, and it's definitely time for Purrazzo to pass that strap. So I'm going with Rosemary. And finally, we have the Impact World Championship up for grabs. This takes place in AEW's backyard, the Daily's place. We have Kenny Omega versus Moose. It's so kick-ass that this match is taking place at the Daily's place, which means it probably will be pre-recorded. Moose is the fucking man. That dude has come so far since Ring of Honor. He is a specimen of an athlete and a major workhorse. Omega is beat up and bruised like I've reported before. That's what happens when you're the collector and you have so many titles to defend. But they're on his turf. Even though the Good Brothers won't be there in person, the Young Bucks will, and they will have his back. If Moose's contract was not up so soon, I might have a little faith in him, but it is. And you know he's going to be WWE bound or someplace like that. So I'm going with Omega. On to the NWA. This week on NWA, Billy Corgan came on stage with ex-WWE legend Mickie James. They announced that in July, NWA will be doing live shows and pay-per-views. They will have an all-female pay-per-view called Empower, and Mickie James will be the executive producer. Mickie James says that she wants women from all over the world to come wrestle in this pay-per-view. Doesn't matter if you're from the pros, the indies, if you're under contract to a different company, if you're unknown, a diamond in the rough, and you haven't had a chance to shine yet, she wants you at this pay-per-view. NWA puts out such a great product, I definitely will be watching this one myself. On to random wrestling and sporting news. Come to find out that after his WWE release, ex-WWE champion Braun Strowman is charging a hefty fee to book him for your promotion. The former WWE star is charging a 5-figure booking fee for appearances on the indies. On WWE's Hidden Treasures, Jake the Snake Roberts claimed that the guitar hit he took for the Honky Tonk Man started Jake on his drug-addicted downward spiral. Well, Honky Tonk Man saw this, and he had this to say about Jake's accusations. And tweeted, and he named a bunch of wrestlers that took his guitar to the head and never became addicted to crack, which is Macho Man, Brutus Beefcake, Ultimate Warrior, Superfly Snuka, Bret Hart. Then he made another category that said crack cocaine addiction hit, and it listed Jake Roberts. So he's sitting there pretty much saying it's a bunch of bullshit. Ex-WWE star and Total Divas star Arian Andrew just released a new single. It's called Born With It. So if that's your thing, go give it a listen, peeps. MLW star Selena Del Renta could be WWE bound. Her contract is up and she dropped little hints on social media, so wherever she ends up, she will be a great asset. Well, we all know that after firing Zack Ryder, WWE texted his fiancée Chelsea Green and asked if they could use their swimming pool to shoot the Otis and Mandy Rose pool scene. Well, after they just recently fired Chelsea Green, WWE immediately canceled her free subscription to the WWE network that employees who work for them get. That's cold-blooded, WWE. Cold-blooded. And finally, speaking of Green's fiancé Matt Cardona, we know he showed up and attacked Nick Gage last week. Well, their match has been officially announced. It takes place in Atlantic City. It will be for the GCW World Championship. It's Nick Gage versus Matt Cardona for the GCW title. I hope Cardona is ready for this and he makes sure he sets the boundaries with Gage before the match. I tweeted to Cardona yesterday and I told him if Gage tries pulling that David Arquette shit to legit beat his ass in the middle of the ring. This one is definitely one to watch, peeps. Alright, peeps, that's it. Well, remember, if you want to win that Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse ringside collectible action figure, all you have to do is stay right here on YouTube. Pick any video, like, share, and comment. So be a subscriber to the AEW Insider, like, share, and comment on any video, and when we hit 500 subs, I will be doing a drawing and sending that awesome exclusive action figure out to the winner. Remember to show us love on all major social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube under the AEW Insider, and on Twitter under the AEW Insider 1, as in the number 1. As always, I'm your host, Lee Benson. Thank you so much for joining us for the AEW Insider. Ciao, peeps.